are moments when a person reaches the very edge of suffering, not to attain enlightenment, but to realize that they have been walking the wrong path. There are journeys where the more extreme the effort becomes, the more restless and unsettled the inner world grows. And there are also very small moments, the sound of a lute echoing deep within the forest, a simple bowl of milk offered from the compassion of a child, that hold enough power to turn the fate of the world itself. Today, we will listen together to the story of the most decisive moment in the life of Sujātā, Gautama, when he abandoned the path of extreme asceticism to discover the middle way, the path that leads to enlightenment. This is not only a Buddhist story, it is a story for anyone who is exhausted, who has been trying too hard, and who is quietly asking, how much longer must I endure? After 6 years of extreme asceticism, Siddhartha Gautama had been reduced to little more than a living skeleton, standing at the edge of death. At that moment, a thought arose within him. Asceticism. I have pursued it to its utmost limit. I have drained from myself every trace of the pleasures of the 5 senses, leaving this body without even the slightest sensation. Yet my inner mind is still not at peace in the past, the present, or the future. If there have been ascetics or Brahmins who practiced self-mortification, enduring pain, torment, severity, and terror, they could hardly have gone beyond what I have endured. I have directly experienced the relationship between body and mind. It is something that cannot be separated. To torment the body is, in truth, to torment the mind. Asceticism, as revealed to me through insight and deep contemplation, is a mistaken path. As if reading Siddhartha's thoughts, the god Sakka, wishing to strengthen this right understanding within him, descended into the forest of Uruvela, appearing like a strong man, flexing and extending his arm, in the guise of a wandering cowherd holding a 3-stringed lute. The wandering musician, as if by chance, sat down on a rock beneath a tree and began to test the strings of his lute. The first string was too slack, producing a dull, shapeless sound. Thrum, thrum. Nothing of worth at all. The musician smiled and moved on to the second string. This time, he tightened it, tighter and tighter, until suddenly the string snapped with a sharp pop. When he came to the third string, he was careful. Slowly, gently, he tightened it, gradually, to just the right degree, neither too loose nor too taut. Then he began to play a melody. Oh, the sound was like crystalline jewels, colliding softly in the open air. Then it flowed into gentle, rising and falling harmonies, clear and lilting, like the voices of birds in concert, like the countless tones of spring itself. At last, the wandering musician rose from the rock and walked on, playing as he went, singing as he played. Oh, the music, the melody, the song, intertwined and suffused with joy and delight, spilled forth, seeping into the clouds of the sky, soaking into the tips of trees and every blade of grass, drifting farther and farther away until it finally vanished. Siddhartha sat in silence. The sunlight was thin and gentle, drifting softly, lightly brushing and caressing his dry, emaciated, darkened skin. A pleasant, peaceful sensation sank deep into his soul. If the string is too loose, it cannot be played. If it is too tight, it breaks. Only when the string is tuned to the right tension, to the proper measure, does the sound become sublime. Siddhartha then remembered that in his childhood, when attending the plowing ceremony with his royal father, Merely sitting and breathing calmly had allowed him to enter the first jhana. During the years of practicing the 4 stages of meditation under the teacher Alara, he had at times dwelled deeply in joy and bliss. When the body was at ease, fresh and joyful, the mind too became at ease, fresh and joyful. Thus, there exists a kind of nourishment, joy and bliss that sustains the mind, and through that nourishment, the body also becomes healthy, light, and comfortable. And from the moment he ascended to the formless meditative absorptions, he had abandoned joy and bliss, retaining only the feeling of equanimous neutrality, living instead in the realms of emptiness, of consciousness, and of subtle perception. Then he continued to reflect. Life. What is it that we call life? If it is called life, then it must be the whole of reality, the whole of body and mind. That is, the totality of form, feeling, perception, volition, and consciousness. So why do I wish to abandon this in order to seek that? Why was there a time when I wanted to abandon feeling altogether, living only with perception? And what is asceticism? Is it the annihilation of the body? Do I truly wish to destroy this body? And even if I have exhausted feeling and the body to the point of near death, what have I gained? When the string is pulled too tight, it breaks. As though he had found the answer, he slowly rose to his feet and gently cast his gaze around him. Drawing in a deep breath, he suddenly sensed the forest's rich fragrance. Many blossoms were in bloom, beautiful sights he had not noticed for a long time. A small golden squirrel suddenly fluffed its tail inside a tree hollow and peeked out at him. Sujātā looked down at himself. There was scarcely any human semblance left. His garment of bark and leaves was torn and tattered beyond repair. Only a dry skeleton remained, loosely held together by protruding joints. His once radiant golden skin, extraordinary in form and bearing, now clearly resembled the specter of a starving ghost. I must find a piece of burial cloth that is still intact, go down to the river and wash myself clean, and then begin my life of practice anew, according to the guidance of the wandering musician, neither too loose nor too tight. Finding a staff, he leaned on it and slowly, painstakingly dragged himself step by step across to the other side of the burial ground. After 5 or 7 steps, he had to stop to catch his breath. Little by little, he finally reached his destination, searching, and there it was. A piece of earth-yellow cloth tightly wrapped around a corpse, its gender no longer discernible, discarded here long ago. He spoke softly. Please grant me the cloth you no longer use. Before long, your body too will return to the 4 great elements. He pulled at the cloth, straining with what strength he had left, breathing hard before he could finally free it. The fabric was stained with blood and dried pus. Sujātā made his way to the riverbank. Beside the water lay several large stones. He washed the robe clean, spread it out to dry on the rocks, then bathed himself. Scrubbing for a long time, he paused, breathing deeply, then rubbed and cleansed until all the dirt, grime, and layers of dead skin were gone. Exhausted, Sujātā lay down and fell into a deep, carefree sleep, free of all concern. When he awoke, his spirit felt refreshed. He took the earth-yellow robe, now dry, draped it over his body, and set off toward the forest. But his strength had been spent, as if the last of his energy had been used up, and he collapsed onto a patch of grass. He lay there unconscious for an unknown length of time, until a young girl arrived, as was her custom, carrying milk, rice, cakes, and fruits to offer to the spirits at the nearby tree. Seeing an emaciated ascetic lying there, breathing faintly, she realized that this renunciant had grown weak from prolonged hunger. Moved by compassion, the girl knelt beside him, fashioned a spoon from a leaf, and gently poured a little milk into his mouth. As the first drops passed his lips, touched his tongue, flowed down his throat, and into his stomach, a pleasant sensation slowly spread throughout his entire body. The girl smiled and handed him the whole jar of milk, still covered with its lid. Before long, he drank it all, and his strength and clarity returned. He said, "Thank you, child. Where do you come from? And what brought you here, that you would give me such a wondrous bowl of milk?" The girl smiled, her face glowing with joy. "I'm from the village. My mistress, a kind-hearted lady, often sends me to the tree near the riverbank to offer milk, cakes, and fruit to the local deity." Sujātā smiled. "And when you saw that I was close to death, you decided on your own to offer me the jar of milk. Aren't you afraid your mistress will scold you?" "No." The girl opened her dark eyes wide. "My mistress is very kind. She won't scold me. She'll praise me instead. She often teaches that helping someone who is starving, saving someone who is about to die, brings great merit." "Oh, very good. Very well done. What is your name?" "Sir, my name is Puṇṇā. My mistress is Sujātā, the daughter of the wealthy man Senan, from the village of Sena, not far from here." And so, the girl offered all the remaining milk rice, cakes, and fruits to Siddhartha Gautama. And thanks to this, he recovered his strength very quickly. The following day, Siddhartha Gautama left the cave and came to live beneath a great tree with a broad green canopy offering cool shade by the riverbank. He had resolved to abandon extreme asceticism and to follow the path of the middle way. That night, Siddhartha Gautama enjoyed a deep and restful sleep, and in the morning, he felt vital energy coursing abundantly through his body. The early sunlight was clear and golden. A gentle breeze stirred the leaves. With a buoyant and joyful spirit, he practiced walking meditation back and forth along the riverbank. By midday, the girl Puṇṇā came again, bringing milk, ghee, and cakes. "Have you come again to make offerings to the deity?" "Yes," she replied, and then she explained. "When my mistress was still a young woman, she saw this great and majestic asatha tree and believed that a deity must dwell here. She would often come to pray, 'May I be granted a husband of noble lineage, wealthy and virtuous, handsome in character and appearance. And afterward, may I give birth to a fine, bright, and well-behaved son, easy to teach and guide. In gratitude, I will make generous offerings of rice, milk, and cakes to the deity.' And now that long-held wish has been fulfilled." Siddhartha Gautama sat down to be at the girl's eye level and smiled. The girl Puṇṇā continued evenly. "This asatha tree, where a deity resides, granted my mistress the husband she wished for, and even bestowed upon her a beautiful son, like a child of the heavens. On the full moon day of Visakha, my mistress will come here to make the main offering. 3 days before that, I come here to present the secondary offerings." "Ah, I see. Venerable ascetic, do you know, my mistress has gone to great lengths to prepare the food offerings with the utmost care and reverence for this full moon day." "Yes, tell me. I am listening." "My mistress is very wealthy, and my master is very kind-hearted. He smiles gently whenever he sees her, preparing milk to offer in gratitude to the deity. She keeps dozens of the strongest, healthiest, milk cows. The milk from those dozens of cows is used to nourish 8 plump milk cows. The milk from those 8 plump cows is used solely to feed 2 young milk cows, and the milk from those 2 cows is reserved exclusively for offering to the deity. The milk you drank yesterday, venerable sir, was that most exquisite milk. Hearing this, Sujātā Gautama was no longer surprised. The milk from the previous day truly had been a medicinal nourishment, a genuine elixir of restoration. Sujātā Gautama smiled and said, "It is not only a restorative tonic, it is a divine medicine." "That's right," the girl nodded. "My mistress even mixed many precious herbs into it." Puṇṇā then went on, "On the day of the main ceremony, my mistress will use that milk as the water to cook a special meal, and even the rice used to cook. It is no ordinary rice. Only a millionaire could afford it." Puṇṇā laughed with carefree innocence. She felt a deep affection for this gentle ascetic. Early that morning, she had broken branches to make a broom and carefully swept the area clean, from the inside outward, from the cracks between stones, every hollow among the tree roots, all the way down to the riverbank. After several days of being nourished and restored, Sujātā Gautama regained flesh and vitality, the 32 auspicious marks, and the 80 minor beauties gradually appeared once more. During this time, his 5 fellow ascetics quietly departed. They were deeply disappointed to see Sujātā Gautama accepting proper nourishment and even engaging in cheerful conversation with a young girl. "He has abandoned the supreme path," Kondanya said sorrowfully to the others. "We can no longer place our hope or trust in him. Our Sujātā Gautama has returned to a life of indulgence, nourishing the body in a vulgar way. Let us go." Aware of their misunderstanding, Sujātā Gautama did not rush to correct them. In these days, he was undergoing a profound transformation of understanding. Something significant was unfolding within his inner world. Sujātā Gautama was gradually shaping a completely new path of practice. He had abandoned asceticism. That is, he had let go of the traditional path. He would now rely on the form-based absorptions, where there is spiritual joy, purity, maturity, and pliancy of mind. Resting upon these, he would begin to observe the unfolding and operation of life itself. And what is life? Life is what is happening, the interaction of one's whole being, this body and mind, with the external world. Suffering, affliction, sorrow, craving, and aversion all arise from there. Therefore, one's practice must also be contemplated from that very ground. On the night of the 14th day of the 4th lunar month, Vaisakha, beneath the majestic Asatha tree, Sujātā abided in the form-based meditative absorptions, nurturing rapture and bliss. Late in the night, during the 2nd watch, he lay down to rest. Around the middle of the 3rd watch, he dreamed. Sujātā Gautama saw himself lying upon the earth, his head resting on the summit of the Himalayas, his left arm stretched across the eastern ocean, his right arm stretched across the western ocean, his legs extended straight, resting upon Jambudapa, with his feet hanging toward the southern ocean. Sujātā Gautama saw a plant called Tirya sprouting from his navel and growing larger and taller, first a span, then a cubit, then a fathom, a yojana, then 100 yojanas, until it filled the entire sky, spreading 8 branches in 8 directions, lush and cool. Sujātā Gautama saw a mass of maggots, black-headed and white-bodied, swarming and crawling from his feet upward to his knees, then completely covering his lower legs. Siddhartha Gautama saw 4 kinds of birds: blue, red, yellow, and black, flying in from the 4 directions to alight at his feet. Suddenly, they all transformed into white. Siddhartha Gautama saw himself walking back and forth, ascending and descending upon a heap of excrement as high as a mountain, yet his feet were not soiled in the slightest, nor touched by any impurity at all. As the morning star rose, Siddhartha Gautama awoke, the dream still vivid and fresh in his mind. At once, he discerned its meaning. The first sign: I shall become a perfectly enlightened one, a Buddha, arising in this world. The second sign: there will be a teaching of the middle way. For the plant grew from the center of the navel with 8 branches, by which devas and humans will be guided, the noble 8-fold path. The third sign: a community of lay followers with black hair and white garments will come to take refuge, gathering beneath my feet to practice the path. The fourth sign: people of faith from all 4 social classes will come forth to renounce the household life and practice, and those 4 classes will be dissolved and purified together in the ocean of the Dhamma, becoming white, bringing discrimination to an end. The fifth sign: many will come to give alms and make offerings, yet in making use of the 4 requisites, I shall not be intoxicated by them, nor cling to them. After interpreting the 5 omens, Siddhartha Gautama felt his heart fill with joy and rapture. Having attended to his personal cleanliness, he practiced walking meditation for a while, then went down to the river to bathe. The cool freshness of the morning water was received through his skin, through every pore of his body, as a gentle and pleasant sensation. His ears caught even the soft murmuring of each ripple of water. His nose perceived the scent of algae and the fragrance of untamed nature itself. The 5 senses and awareness had become refined and subtle. One cannot abandon the phenomenal world, life itself. Rather, one must listen to and feel phenomena and life fully and deeply. From that very ground, feelings, perceptions, mental formations, and consciousness must also be observed and listened to in a truthful way. Just as this river flows on, drop after drop, in continuous succession, so too do our feelings, perceptions, mental formations, and consciousness flow in the same manner. While seated in meditation beneath the tree, Siddhartha Gautama sustained and deepened mindfulness and clear awareness, listening attentively to the entirety of body and mind, together with their objects. All things flowed, gathering and dispersing, coming and going continuously, without interruption. Not a single feeling, perception, mental formation, or act of consciousness possessed any inherent reality, any self-nature, what the Vedas speak of as the lesser self, Atman, Atta, a permanent soul identical in essence with the great cosmic self, Mahatman, suddenly dissolved like a bubble on water. All phenomena were seen to be non-self, anatta. This clarity, realized through direct experience and self-contemplation, bestowed upon Siddhartha Gautama a rapture unlike anything he had ever known. When Sujātā and the girl Puṇṇā brought offerings to the tree to present to the deity, they beheld a radiant being, glowing with brilliant light, seated in serene meditation. Even Puṇṇā herself sensed something extraordinary. This was indeed the same emaciated ascetic who had nearly died of hunger only days before, yet he now seemed to have been reborn as an entirely different person. Truly, there must be a deity here. Only a divine being could possess such a countenance and such a luminous aura. Sujātā instructed Puṇṇā to arrange the offerings on a golden tray, milk rice and various cakes and fruits, then knelt down, lifted the tray above her head, and spoke reverently, "Venerable Sir, mighty guardian spirit of this tree, I am Sujātā. You have fulfilled my wishes, granting me a husband who is handsome, wealthy, and kind-hearted, and bestowing upon me a son whose appearance and bearing are like those of a little celestial being. My heart is now completely fulfilled. Today, I have come to offer my gratitude, praying that you will bear witness to my sincerity." Siddhartha Gautama emerged from meditation, smiled and said, "I am only a renunciant seeking the path, no deity at all. Little Puṇṇā knows this." Puṇṇā, who had been prostrating beside her mistress, now lifted her head. "No. Today, Venerable Sir, you truly are a divine being. My mistress and I both see it clearly." As for Sujātā, she was deeply grateful and profoundly moved. She thought to herself, "The deity has responded to my sincerity and has manifested in the noble and exalted form of this ascetic." Siddhartha Gautama reflected to himself, "All things arise through causes and conditions. I shall accept this for her benefit and also for the benefit of the great transformation unfolding within me." After Sujātā and the girl Puṇṇā offered the entire golden tray and departed, Siddhartha Gautama stood in silent contemplation, reflecting for a moment. Then slowly, step by step, he walked to the riverbank. Choosing a clean patch of grass, Siddhartha sat cross-legged and shaped the milk rice into 49 portions, each the size of a palmyra fruit. With mindfulness and clear awareness, Siddhartha made a solemn aspiration and consumed all 49 portions of the milk rice. Taking the golden tray in his hands, he stood and made a vow. "If, beneath the Asatha tree, I am to attain the state of perfect enlightenment, then may this golden tray flow upstream against the current of the river. If I am not to attain Buddhahood, then let this golden tray drift downstream." Having made this vow, Siddhartha Gautama cast the golden tray into the middle of the river. Wondrous indeed. The golden tray sped upstream like a swift water skater, racing against the current toward the upper reaches, until, after traveling about 80 cubits, it sank beneath the water. At that very moment, nothing unusual occurred in the human world. But in the underwater realm, something extraordinary took place. Beneath the palace of the Dragon King, there already lay 3 golden trays belonging to 3 Buddhas of the past: Buddha Kakusanda, Buddha Konagamana, and Buddha Kassapa. When the golden tray of Siddhartha Gautama sank and drifted down to the underwater palace, it struck the 3 earlier trays, and a resonant sound rang out. The Dragon King Kalanaga, who was sleeping at the time, heard the sound of the golden trays colliding, awoke, and smiled, saying, Just yesterday a Buddha appeared, and today yet another Buddha has come into the world." Siddhartha Gautama knew that his vow would be fulfilled. His heart was filled with joy and ease, and he knew with certainty that his transformation, his new vision of the path of practice, was accurate and true. Walking back toward the Asatha tree, Siddhartha Gautama felt profound confidence, knowing that he had fully prepared himself for the decisive exertion of practice ahead, without fear of going astray again. And who could have imagined that the wondrous bowl of milk and the supreme portions of milk rice offered by the girl Puṇṇā and the lady Sujātā would bring about a miracle that occurs only once in countless millions of years? They became the drops of blood that renewed vitality, the fuel added to ignite the arising of a perfectly enlightened Buddha, and a liberating teaching, one that would rescue immeasurable numbers of humans and celestial beings, shining in radiant splendor and brilliant clarity all the way to the present day. And so, not through self-punishment, not through hunger and deprivation, nor through the tormenting of the body, but through awakening and understanding, Siddhartha Gautama rediscovered the right path for himself. He realized that when the string is too loose, it makes no sound. When it is too tight, it snaps. Only by knowing when to pause, by nourishing body and mind just enough, can wisdom truly blossom. The middle way is not a compromise with sensual pleasure, nor is it an escape from suffering. The middle way is to look directly at life, to clearly see how body, mind, and the world are functioning, and to stop fighting against oneself. A small bowl of milk, a pure heart of compassion, became the conditions for an enlightened one to appear in this world. Perhaps within each of us, there have been times when we punished ourselves with pressure, with expectations, with endless, just try a little harder, until both body and mind were completely exhausted. If today you are feeling weary, if you sense that you have gone too far, this story is not telling you to give up. It gently reminds you of one simple thing: adjust the tension of your own string. For enlightenment is not born from extreme pain, but from understanding, mindfulness, and compassion, first and foremost, toward oneself. If this story has touched you, take a moment to slow your breathing and press subscribe to continue walking alongside stories that help us understand ourselves, understand life, and live a little more lightly each day.